Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti. It is an absolutely spectacular day here in South Florida. This is what you call a Chamber of Commerce day. Just beautiful conditions, low humidity, a fast main track. Of course, we got the all-weather Tapeta, so it should be a fun afternoon. And we got a 10-race card this afternoon, and we have a $600,000 jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which will start in race number 5. But we also came into the day where there you see the $600,000. That's that gross guarantee. So lots of change, and we'll see if we can get that done. And it's races 5 through 10. Just wanted to touch on two of the super high five carried over from yesterday. $7,700 plus in that pool. So if that's your game, you got it right here in race number 1. And of course, each and every racing day, we have a couple of pick fives, a couple of pick fours, rolling pick threes throughout the afternoon, along with daily doubles, quinellas, everything you need to have a winning day as far as betting goes. And you can just come out here, and if you're in earshot of me, you got to come out, and this day is just really, really nice. So the first race today is going to be on the Tapeta surface, and it's going to be about 5 furlongs, and it's maiden claiming fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up $25,000. Full field of 9, no scratches or jockey changes in the race. Very, very early in the wagering, the number 5 Stuck on Kitten is currently the favorite. I think it was the morning line favorite in there too. And this one changing barns going into the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn. It's a daughter of Kitten's Joy, who's going to drop to the 25 level on the Tapeta course today after facing special weight competition on the turf before going to the sidelines. That was back in December. You know how good the barn is with this type of layoff, or if you don't, 24%. Really, class drops 39%, adds Lasix for the return, so lots to like, especially that drop in competition. Then you got the number 4, code name Lisi. This one is a drop into this level. I'm going to change surfaces today, like a lot of horses in this race, after showing speed and fading, but that was against $75,000 maidens, and that was going 7 furlongs on the Keeneland main track. It is Mike Maker, and you're getting Sammy Camacho up top, this daughter of Declaration of War. So getting some class relief for its local debut for Mike Maker. And then the inside horse, number 1, Mama Longlegs, who's stepping up the competition this afternoon and breaking from the rail. You go back and look at this horse's last race, set the pace, and got beat a neck when finishing third. Now, it was the tepid favorite that afternoon, but it was against 12-5 maidens going 5 furlongs. It was on the Tapeta surface, so this one has a win on the surface. Stepping up the competition today, we'll see how this one runs, but that's been a good angle lately with horses that have run well or even run once over the Tapeta. They have gone out to run pretty good, so that is race number 1. Now, going to race number 2, we did have a couple of scratches in here of the 4 and 6, so it's only a 4-horse field. It's a 1-mile starter allowance, 3-year-olds and up, starting for $25,000 or less. As I mentioned, scratch the 4, Hero Tiger, and the number 6, Caramel Chip. Tune In looks like the major player in here is dropping, turning back after dueling for the lead and finishing second against 62,500 optional claimers, going a mile into 16th for Diane Marici. Lionel Reyes in the saddle today. But I want to go back and show you the performance of the number 5 horse in here, Ludington. He's making his first start since back-to-back victories. And look at this last victory here. You see he's the number 7 horse in here. I just thought it was a good performance. Fights on. You're going to see it's almost impossible to call a finish here. This horse, Ludington, is in the middle, and you're going to see on the outside my main man. Both of those horses 7-2, and they hit the wire exactly at the same time, but Ludington gutted it out and got his nose in front at the wire, so I thought it was a good performance. Coming off the bench for Peter Walder and the gelding working steadily for the return. Edgar Zayas in the saddle. We lost Hero Tiger, who I thought was a good player in there, so maybe you throw a horse like Kanani on the ticket, who's an old war horse making its 59th career start. 13-time winner at the distance, but I think the race goes through Tune In, or if you like Ludington coming off the bench after that game performance. We'll go to race number 3. Back on the Tapeta, about 5.5 furlongs this time. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, 35 down to $25,000. Got a scratch in here of the number 7, Wild America, who was 5-1 on the morning line. And I went with the 5 Headline Hunter, who I believe is the morning line favorite. Yes, it is. This one changing barns, now going into the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn. It's a daughter of Tapizar, who broke her mating on the Turfway Synthetic, which I like. Now I'm going to try the Tapeta surface here after finishing second on the turf here in a 50 starter optional claimer during April. That race turned out to be a good one, produced a trio of next out winners. So coming out of a good race, I'll be it back in April. This one is already a proven commodity on a synthetic surface and trying the Tapeta today for our leading trainer. So lots to like about the number 5 Headhunter in there, 8-5 on the morning line. Then you got the 2, Katie's Dream Girl, who's going to turn back to this about 5.5 furlong distance on the all-weather surface. First race, it's finishing 4th. That was against 25 starter optional claimers. Going a mile on the turf in August. Ralph Nix is the trainer. Chantal Sutherland continuing the hot riding, will be in the irons. And then you got the inside horse, Sweet Penelope, has speed, the rail, but now must translate that to this new surface of the Tapeta, so we'll see how that horse runs this afternoon. I originally had the number 7, Wild America, in third, but the horse scratched out, so I bumped up the number 1, Sweet Penelope. But Headline Hunter looks pretty sharp in there. Let's go to race number 4 this afternoon, and it's a 6 furlong claimer for 3-year-olds of 4 and up, non-winners of 3 races in life, 20 down to 16. Scratch the number 5 horse in here, and I went with the inside horse, Bailey. What I like about this, what I said, it's 3-year-olds or 4-year-olds and up that have not won 3 races. So there's a couple of 3-year-olds in this field that already have won their 3rd race, and one of those is Bailey. This one drops and turns back to his best distance thus far. This horse has had 4 races at the distance, 2 wins in a second after shaking off some trouble at the start. And just got bumped. He stalked the pace. He finished third against those 35 condition claimers. Going 6.5 furlongs. Saffie Joseph has got Edgard's Eyes handling the inside draw this afternoon. But I want to go back and show you a performance from Absolute Grit from the 8-pole home, when Absolute Grit was very impressive that day and just draws Claire to defeat the even money favorite in that race, Citizen West, and does it rather convincingly. So I thought it was a good performance against the big favorite in there. And, this one is comes back listed as a gelding. I don't know when they gelded this horse. He's the son of Cantharos, which you got to like. You just see how game he was there to beat the even money favorite. I mean, he was second choice that day, don't get me wrong. As I mentioned, listed as a gelding. He steps up. You saw the race. He drew clear. That was to defeat 2 lifetime claimers at the distance. Jorge Delgado's got Chantal going for 2 in a row. Another 3-time winner in the field is the 3 Awesome Beach, who's stepping up the competition. Parlayed that duel throughout. This horse dueled from start to finish and held on to defeat those 12-5 claimers going 6 furlongs. As I mentioned, a 3-time winner in this field. We'll have Semi Camacho in the irons again. So 1 Bailey, the number 8 Absolute Grit, and another 3-time winner, number 3 Awesome Beach. With that said, take a short break. When we come back, have my Rainbow Six ticket.
In the 2-path. Ground off her inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. It's last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti here, just a couple of minutes, 10 minutes before noon. A beautiful day in South Florida with a fast main track. The all-weather Tapeta in great shape. And the 5th race, 5.5 furlongs. These are maiden special weight 2-year-olds. What a way to start the Rainbow Six with a 12-horse field. Here's my ticket right now, and you can see the gross guarantee is $600,000. Went 3 deep in here. We'll talk about this race, but I did use So Determined Determined. Everybody will probably use that horse. But I also use Chief Rocker and Bird Note. And then 3 deep in race 6 with Eagle Eye, Capturini, and the number 4, Glitter Bay. Race 7, once again, I'm going 3 deep with Tiger, Raise the Rent, and Uphold the Law. Then I go just 2 deep in race 8 with Alano and Cave Hill. And then in race number 9, got my long shot in there, 15-1 on the morning line. I don't know if we'll get there because of the big scratch in their financial system, but I like Royal Squeeze today. We'll see if that one can run well on the dirt. And Alonzo and just Alonzo in there. So we'll see how those 2 run. And closing it out with just 2 horses in race number 10 to keep my ticket affordable with Drum and Drummer and Make a Move. That is the number 6 horse. Now, getting back to this 5th race, there is a beautifully bred horse in here, and it's the number 11, So Determined. It's an $875,000 Florida-bred son of Into Mischief, who really comes off a determined debut. We'll go back, first show you the horse at the start, what happens to this horse, and then we'll pick it up at the top of the stretch. You're going to see the one here, So Determined, just gets, shuffled back to last, which happens so many times when you break from the rail. Just no position early on, and you can just see, has to, sort of go back and come out and circle the field to run. And then you're going to see this horse coming down the stretch 4 wide, full of run. Now, the horse on front, full disclosure, had the race all its way, was on the lead throughout. But watch this horse, who is the one horse, as I said, closing at 4-5. Just, of course, it's Todd Pletcher. I thought with a clean break, this horse would have won in that race. That's a guess on my part, but I'm thinking with a clean break and a break from the outside this afternoon, not totally outside, but post 11. And Todd Pletcher, as I mentioned, and you got Edgar Zayas in the saddle. So you saw the start, you saw the finish. Think it's going to be a major player. But what about the number 3 horse in here, Chief Rocker, who's the son of Uncaptured? Now, this one is going to debut for Carlos David with really solid work tab showing over the Palm Meadows training track. I think you watch the tote action. That's the beauty of this being race number 5 in the first leg of the Rainbow Six. You can watch the tote action. If this horse is taking some money, So Determined's going to take a bunch. So maybe you try and beat it with a horse, a first-time starter like Chief Rocker. And what about the number 9, Bird Note, who's going to turn back this 5.5 furlongs today? I thought showed progress when stalking the pace and finishing that distant second, going 7 furlongs. That was in its second career start. So third race for Bob Hess Jr. and Sammy Camacho handling the turn back and distance. So Determined, going to be the big favorite in there. But you got Chief Rocker, Bird Note, and as I mentioned, a big full field of 12 to kick off the Rainbow Six. Then we go to race number 6, and it's about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. And these are fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. Once again, no scratches in this race. This is where the late pick 5 will kick off. The early pick 5, of course, is in race number 1. And the 6th race is back on the Tapeta. It's about 5.5 furlongs. It's fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, and then non-winners of 2 in life, 10 in the field. I went with the 3, Eagle Eye, who's changing barns now in the Saffie Joseph Jr. barn. It's a daughter of Wicked Strong, and this one is dropping to the $8,000 level on the Tapeta. First start since she was eased, and it was a $30,000 claimer at Keeneland in April. So coming into Saffie's barn, but the sophomore, you just look at the workout pattern, working up a storm up at Palm Meadows in preparation for the return. So we'll see how this one runs today off the bench, dropping down, but a good workout pattern. And of course, once again, we sound like a broken record, but it is Saffie Joseph Jr. What about the number 6, Cap Turini, who's debuting on this all-weather Tapeta surface today and making her first start? She used her speed. She defeated those 12-5 maidens going 5 furlongs on the turf during August. Georgina Baxter has come back, and she's just had, in this championship, Flamingo meeting, I should say, with a couple of really nice winners. She's 25% with the 61 to 180-day layoff, and she's got Marcos Meneses in the saddle. Then you got the 4, Glitter Bay, who has run well at this distance in the past. That was when this horse, if you go back and look at this horse's past performances, when this horse turned back from a route to a sprint, now ran well, albeit that was on the turf. So now this one's going to try and repeat that feat when returning for the layoff for Gilberto Zerper, who has a 23 win 23% win average already on the Tapeta. So this horse has shown in the past, you would think it's maybe a rooter, but when it's turned back in distance, it's run well at these abbreviated 5 or 5.5, 6 furlong distances. So just keep that in mind when you're putting your ticket together. Race number 7 this afternoon. We're back on the fast main track. It is 6 furlong allowance optional claimer for state bred 3-year-olds and up. The optional tag is $12,500. No scratches once again. We got a field of 9 in here to kick off the late pick 4. And I went with the 2 Tiger on top, and I'll tell you why. This one is turning back to 6 furlongs after going up and setting a pressured pace and finishing second. Was only beaten a half length in that race against similar. That was going a mile for Carlos David. Embassy Al Jaramillo handling the classic turnback move. So going from that mile back to 6 furlongs, we'll see how that one runs today. And you got Raise the Rent, who's listed as a gelding, a son of Malibu Moon, is stepping up the competition. We're going to just show you this horse's last race from about the 8th pole home when Raise the Rent draws clear to win it by almost 3 lengths. We'll take a look at that. And you can just see here, Raise the Rent, had to make that, 2-3 wide move coming into the final turn, and I thought ran exceptionally well in there. Now, stepping up the competition, but this was a good performance. I mean, this horse, was coming back from a 14-month layoff, and he defeated these 40 maidens, but he got an 86 buyer for this effort. Aubrey Mirage is the trainer. You're going to have Rajiv Mirage in the saddle today. And the horse that finished second, I think, was Romero Mirage. So it was an interesting race there. But Raised the Rent coming back and running exceptionally well to get an 86 buyer coming off a longer than 1 year layoff. And then you got the number 9, Uphold the Law, who's making his first start since drawing clear. Now, that was at 6.5 furlongs. Defeated maiden special weight runners in his career debut. Trainer Mike Stidham readied this son of Upstart for the return with a really solid 5 furlong drill over the track. So we'll see how that horse runs there. So 2 Tiger, 4 Raise the Rent, and number 9, Uphold the Law. And we're going to take a break and uphold the tradition of coming back with the final 3 races on the card.
Start winning at the races with Daily Racing Form's new mobile pass performances. Access the most trusted information in horse racing, including exclusive buyer speed figures and DRF analysis and selections. Experience the new mobile optimized DRF pass performances on your phone from anywhere at any time. Go to drf.com/now. Use coupon code NOW to get a free single card and get the power of DRF in the palm of your hand.
Pegasus, the divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Knicks go. Racing, the thunder and the lightning on the track, energy in the stands. Vibe, fashion, entertainment, all for one.
And welcome back for race number 8 this afternoon. Well, not this afternoon yet. 3 minutes before noon. This one is about a mile, 70 yards on the Tapeta. It's a starter optional claimer for 3-year-olds and up. Started for 35 or left, or the claiming tag of 35,000. Did have a couple of scratches in here of the 6 and the number 8. So the nice field anyway. We didn't lose any big competitors in here. I think the race still is going to be very interesting for number 2, Alado, who's dropping to the 35 starter optional level today. After coming within a half length of defeating 75 optional claimers, that was going this distance on the Tapeta. Antonio Sano's got Leonel Reyes, a top, really consistent 3-year-old on the main track. And last on the course on the Tapeta, I thought this horse ran exceptionally well. Is this the morning line favorite? Yes, the morning line favorite at 5-2. Then you have the number 5, Cave Hill, who's a stakes winner on the Turfway Park Synthetic. So this horse actually won a stake on the synthetic surface, and albeit maybe not Tapeta, but certainly on a synthetic surface, returns to an all-weather track now in the first race since Mike Maker claimed him out of a poor showing. That was on the dirt at Churchill Downs. Mike Maker always good on synthetic, about 20%, 19-20%, and he's got Chantal in the saddle today. So this one, if you go back back and key off that performance at Turfway Park when it won a stake. Maybe this is the spot for this horse running at the about mile 70 yards on the Tapeta. And 3, Hail to the Chief, who you would think should be primed and ready to offer more after returning from about a 13-month layoff to finish a late closing third against 35 condition claimers. That was going a mile in the 16th on the Tapeta. It's Safi, it's Edgard. You know the story. We've mentioned it a bunch of times today. So Solano, Cave Hill, Hail to the Chief. Race number 9 today is is 1 mile allowance optional claiming. This one on the dirt on the fast main track. 3-year-olds and up, optional claiming price of $25,000. Scratch to 5, and we lost Financial System 7-5 morning line favorite. I was really hoping that horse ran today because I had a long shot in here. I think the horse will still be a price. I don't know if it'll be 15-1. And let me tell you about the number 8 Royal Squeeze. This one is stretching out to a mile on the main track. After rallying to finish 4th. Now, that was against 12 5-starter allowance runners going 5 on the Tapeta. But this one is a 12-time winner on a fast main track. A multiple winner at the distance. 8 starts, 2 wins, a second, 3 thirds. You got Chantal in the saddle. So I think this horse going back to the main track is going to be key for this horse. Proven winner at the distance. And you know, I'm looking to get that little bit of a price in here. And you got the number 3, Alonzo. This Alonzo was back home after shipping up to Parks and ran exceptionally well. We're actually going to go visit Parks and see this horse finish second. This is in the Grade 3 Smarty Jones. So we'll take a look. We'll pick it up at the top of the stretch. And there you're going to see it right inside. Alonzo is right in there and running. Alonzo running right there. You see him on the inside then between horses. And he fights on bravely in this race. So I just thought he ran exceptionally well. So we'll see how he finishes here second. Look, he's fighting right to the end. Now, this is Grade 3 company. So you got to pay attention to this. Right there, second, the number 7 horse in there. And I thought ran very, very well to be second in that race. Stepped up, had a ship out of town, now comes down. And, Juan Alvarado is Arundel homebred working well over this track in preparation for the return. So they thought enough of this horse to ship him up to Parks, and he did not disappoint. He didn't win, but he finished second in the Grade 3 Smarty Jones. I didn't know what to do with the number 10 horse, American Prince. I thought this horse was going to do so much better than it has done over the last couple of starts. And wheeling back in just 8 days now and stretching out to the mile, hoping to rebound from that disappointing effort going 6.5 furlongs last time out. But look at the promising sprints. Was really good back in February when it won at first asking. Comes off the bench and runs a really well-meant second against 75 optional claimers 2 starts back. Being a son of Liam's Map, you know he's going to love this added distance today for Ralph Nix. And I'm not giving up on this horse yet. I know it was an off performance last time out. Maybe the horse just needs that little more distance today of 8 furlongs, and he could rebound. I had high hopes for this horse, and I'm still not going to just put it to the wayside. I'm going to keep using him until I see how he runs at this mile today. Going to wrap it up today as far as racing goes. Race number 10, about 5.5 furlongs on the Tapeta. 3 and up, non-winners of 2 in life. Just scratched the also eligible number 13. So how do we end the day? Sort of like we started the day with a full field of 12 in here. I went with the number 11 horse, Drum and Drummer. I love the name of that horse. Debuting locally on the surface today, the all-weather. After showing speeding at similar, going a mile and a 16th. That was on the turf in New Jersey. And you got Mike Deeney, who's had a couple of really nice winners. And you get Isaac Castillo handling the combination, a turn back, and, surface switch and turn back. I just thought off that performance, this horse run well, and the barn's been doing very well. The number 6 horse in here, Make a Move. Actually, go back. He defeated Drum and Drummer when they competed in a 5-furlong maiden race on the Monmouth main track. We'll try to do it again today on the Tapeta for Timmy Hills, Romero Mirage in the saddle. So it's amazing. These 2 horses met in Monmouth, a long time ago, and here they are meeting, going on the Tapeta this afternoon. And then the 4 Deputy Indy, who's really taking a drop today on the Tapeta after facing tougher when sprinting on the turf during last winter for trainer Angel Rodriguez. He's 2 for 8 with a longer than 180-day layoff, but this horse hasn't been seen in a while. Big drop, maybe a little bit of a red flag number. So that's the 10 races, but we're not done. We're going to do our lightning round today. That's if I still have enough breath at the end of the lightning round. And we've been following the travails of Nick's Go, and what Nick's Go is going to be doing right now. He's settling in at TaylorMade for a little bit of a layover, and just because he's going to come back in training and he's going to be ready to run in the Pegasus World Cup. And of course, the Breeders' Cup Classic winner is coming back and going to run if all things go well. So you could actually go and check him out at TaylorMade for that layover, and we'll see how he goes and settle in, and we'll see how he runs, comes back right into Brad Cox's barn. I think he's going to run good. You know, we got a couple of homegrown people here, and one of them is Tyler Gaffalione. And what a day he had on Friday. He rode 6 winners at Churchill Downs, 6 consecutive races. He's only the second person to do it. I think the last person who did it was in 1907 or something like that. That is incredible to win 6 winners Friday at Churchill Downs, and of course started his career here, won the Eclipse Award. He comes from Hollywood, Florida, so he's one of our own, even though that happened in Kentucky. You know, we had a couple of nice performances yesterday, and one of them was Of a Revolution, who was really impressive in the return for Saffie Joseph Jr. So let's look at this horse running well. He come back, and Saffie's high on this horse. He thinks, if things go right, he might put him in the Limehouse Stakes next, and it just looks like this horse is going to be something special coming off the bench. There was a big favorite in there. You know, number 1 horse was 4-5, but this horse came back, and like I said, Saffie's really high on that. Then there was also a first-time starter in that one. You got to look at this horse's performance, Strategic Bird. This one won for Gary Barber and Mark Cassey. It's its debut. And, boy, this is a horse you're going to have to reckon with. Pretty nice performance. You can just see this horse cruising under the wire. 8-1, got away with it, and just ran away with the field. So mark that horse down. Put that one in your horses to watch field. And a nice performance. We had some really nice stakes races up in Maryland at Laurel yesterday, and I just wanted to point one out, and that was Locomotive, who won the $100,000 James F. Lewis at Laurel for John Salzman Jr. It was a really nice race. That's a really nice picture up there for our photo guys up there in Maryland. So nice performance, a good stake race. It was a lot of fun watching those races up there. So that's the races. That's the lightning round, and it's time for me to take a break, and I'll be back here for race number 1.
Pegasus, the divine winged horse that flew with heroes mounted for glory. Here begins our story of legendary times, the rarefied air when the stakes are high. Like the moment when you feel the vibe, the thunder and the lightning on the track, the energy in the stands. Like music moving through your soul, shaking your hips, making you dance. The stars come out in the magic city. For Pegasus they stay. Dressed in designers' newest finds, wishing all days could be like this. A moment in the sun, where everything is divine. Racing, vibe, fashion, entertainment. Arrogant, gun runner, city of light, mucho gusto, and Nick's Go. Pharrell Williams at the finish line. Lenny Kravitz rocks the runway. Snoop Dogg making it rain. A Jennifer Lopez family affair. Vin Diesel found out that cars aren't the only thing that are fast and furious. This runway on the rails.